The city never sleeps, and neither do the dreamers who build its pulse. From every corner of the globe they come. Visionaries, creators, leaders, each carrying a spark ready to ignite the world. This is not an event, it's a revolution of rhythm and reason. A symphony of minds, a movement of momentum. Seafood on fire, land salad, Jose Escobar. Together they set the stage for brilliance. This is the NYC Experience. Mastermind, light up the city. They coming from the east, coming from the west. Knowledge on deck, put the truth to the test. Leaders in motion, hearts in sync, dropping wisdom so deep it'll make you think. They bring stories, sweat and flame, different faces, one shared name. Elevation, that's the sound. NYC Experience Mastermind, where purpose is found.
Lancelot, good morning, my friends.
Good morning, Seafood. And how are you today, sir? I know how you're doing.
Exceptional and getting better every day. And the reason I can say that is because I do something every day that's a little bit better, a little bit different, a little bit to get me moving.
Yes. And what is that?
I wake up.
Really?
I wake up in gratitude. And when I wake up in gratitude, it's all about the fact that I have lungs I can breathe with. I have eyes I can see with. I have movement in my hands. So I pray and I thank God for those. And then I don't take anything for granted, including our friendship, our brotherhood, if you will. And every day is a new opportunity to be the greatest version of you. So I take that opportunity. I never let it go to waste.
Outstanding. That's a wonderful way to wake up in the morning with gratitude, you know.
Oh, yeah.
For myself, I know gratitude's always a part of the morning routine, but I definitely wake up planning the first thoughts for the day. I think that's an integral, important part of how to start the day is you plant how you think. Because if we don't plant it, then our memories, the environment, our fears will plant what we think about. So I'm very much into, before I get out of bed, right before I wake, to plant those thoughts, and I always say the same thing every morning. I am enough, I am powerful, and greatness is my destiny. And then I put my feet on the floor, and I make my bed, because that's confirming what I'm saying. And then I start my day from there. But I think all winners have some type of routine that they do consistently, because consistency is the key, you know, and it's the small things. You know?
Absolutely. And, you know, I am very grateful for the two incredibly powerful women we're about to bring on. Are you ready?
Yes, I always love spending time with powerful women.
Let's bring on Amy and Renee. Ladies, welcome to New York City Experience Live.
Always an honor to spend time with powerful women, that's for sure. Love it. Good morning, ladies. Good morning. How are we?
Good morning.
Amy, it's very nice to meet you. Renee is family, but welcome to the family, Amy. It's an honor to have you on.
Thank you kindly. I mean, that's how we show up, right? As one, and that expansion is opening doors for anyone else who's ready to accept those truths that you both presented. Thank you.
All right. How you doing, Renee?
I'm amazing. I'm feeling the energy. I was listening to Seafood talk about that, his routine of how he started the day and yours, and it is just energizing me, because when I think about the gratitude, when we breathe, that's a gift. And you know, stepping out of bed, and it's the way you starting strong is setting yourself up for success. So I love that. And I think what you said was, I'm destined for greatness. I'm like, I had to write that one down. I'm like,
Absolutely.
Yes. So today's topic is an interesting one, and comfort is expensive. Ooh.
Amen.
What are your thoughts on comfort being expensive? Because when we think about expenses, it's a bill that's due, isn't it?
Mhm.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
I'd love to hear your thoughts, ladies, gentlemen.
Well, I'll let the ladies start because I have a
You do.
definite opinion on this.
I have so many thoughts on it. It was almost as if you were like peeking behind the curtain, or you were like all in my area code when you provided this topic, because there's so much comfort makes you feel good. It's almost like this warm cup of your favorite, drink, like it's a like your coffee or your tea that you're used to. And when we think about the comfort of that, the way it makes us feel, but then it can also keep us in a space that we may not want to be in. And it also may keep us from growing. And so when I think about those moments where I love the power of routines, I love the power of having this, doing the same thing. But I notice when I allow myself to relax into it, then I become a little bit lazy and then I'm not at my best. And so when I get to that point where I'm comfortable, you got to push that boat out. You got to step out from there, because sometimes that next level is beyond your level of comfort.
Mhm.
Oh,
I love
so good. Renee, you are not wrong. When Sifu mentioned to me, Amy, this is our topic, my body just ignited inside, because that is truly what changed my life many years ago, and what I now get to hold space for so many profound visionaries and leaders in their space. Because when we get to that space of success, like, I know how to do this. I've been doing this for so long. I am a leader. I hold this space for other individuals. The part where comfort steps in for me is that it's not always the absence of the next step or the challenge. Sometimes it's that absence of curiosity that you were mentioning, Renee, because when we get too comfortable, our soul is screaming for fuller expansion and expression all the time. Like, that's the whole process of this human experience. And so when we get comfortable, it takes the aliveness out of life. It costs us from staying in the same space and repeating that cycle that brought us to where we are, which is fantastic and phenomenal. However, we're not meant to stay there.
Beautifully said. And I'll expound on that by saying that comfort is where dreams go to die. And but also, when it's like ourselves, we have our morning routines. I'll talk about the morning routine. And we start off with the morning routine because it makes you uncomfortable. But when you start to do the morning routine day in, day out, week in, week out, month in, month out, year, that begins to be comfortable. And then you have to, again, because you're always growing, you have to continue to make yourself more uncomfortable. And it's ironic because I just did that for myself, and always, you're able to use yourself so then you can teach others. I started implementing reading in the morning when I get up, at least 10 minutes, 10 to 15 minutes. And the first book, the last couple of days I've been reading, is Jose's book. Where is it? This right, Winning of the Day. And it talks about the morning and the evening routine, but it also talks about reading and how important reading is. And so it's just interesting that we're talking about constantly uh, making ourselves uncomfortable, because comfortability is when you begin to stagnate. And even when you have your morning routines, you always continue to grow. So you always continue to do more to make yourself uncomfortable. And within that uncomfortability is where dreams are made and where you become a master. And so I'm a firm believer and always, as you get comfortable doing things to make yourself uncomfortable, because that's where the gold is. That's where you grow. That's where you learn.
Mm. Yeah.
I believe that comfort is what so many people seek.
Mm.
Yet you all said it beautifully. It becomes routine. I got home from work. I deserve some beers or some drinks, or I deserve to like slouch on the couch. That kind of rhymes, doesn't it? And it becomes really comfortable, and it becomes a routine. And when that routine takes over, you're no longer in charge. So I'm a freak about not allowing my routines to judge me or judge my lifestyle. So every day is different for me. It's a new day, it's a new challenge. And so every day, when first thing I do is, I'm up, I do all these things, and then I'm at the gym. I'm at the gym before most people are even on their third dream, right?
That's right.
Sometimes 3 in the morning, Lancelot is reached out to me. I'm like, I'm on the gym. I'm at the gym, but he reaches out to me sometimes very early in the morning. And one of the things that I do is I never do the same workout twice. I don't think I ever have in my entire life, because I trick my muscles to being happy about a new routine. And it sometimes so happens that when I get to the gym, I have an idea of what I want to work on. But as I'm doing it, I'm like, I'm going to switch it. I'm going to change it. So I'm not comfortable, right? And the stress, if you think of the muscles, this is why my body's a little different than most people. I stretch every day.
So that's
I
very
lift differently. I do functional training
important.
because my goal is longevity.
Mm.
And if I'm not living and taking actions today for my tomorrows, wow.
Mm.
Wow.
Stretching and cardio are the most important thing as you get older. Cardio for the heart and
Lifting.
stretching. Hmm?
There's a lot of people who get older and don't use weights because they're afraid. Women should definitely lift weights.
Weight's important, but yeah, absolutely.
Weight, because our bone density
That's right.
becomes more brittle as we move on. So we need to strengthen our muscles so the muscles can carry us.
Yes.
I love that what you mentioned about the working out of the strength, because I remember when I was younger, I used to lift weight, and I would be comfortable. Once I get to a part, I'm like, oh, I can do 15 reps and I'm good here. And I would get so angry at the trainer, and he would put on extra plates. And I'm like, men do these plates. I don't do this, and push the weight. And my mind said no, it put a limitation because I was comfortable where I was, but someone else pushed me out of the comfort zone. And yeah, I pushed it and I kept pushing it. And so I think that weight is necessary, because pressure is necessary in order for us to continue to grow, to prepare for our tomorrows. Like you mentioned, Sifu. I would say that meeting you, I've been out of my comfort zone every single moment of every single day. Don't ever tell you that you want to do something, because, all right, let's do it. So I will say that you have the routine, but you also trust yourself to continue to add the necessary pressure and weight, but then also be willing to be in your out of your comfort zone and surround yourself with people who are going to challenge you and to gently sometimes, push you out of that comfort zone, maybe just throw you in the deep end so that you can continue to grow.
So good, Renee. And I love how it came to weights too, because I too have been quite the athlete for so many years. And I remember getting to the point of failure. Like that's how it was presented in the gym. You push until failure, until your muscles just can't do it. And that is so much bigger than simply in the workout, because as I see comfort, comfort is the opposite of comfort is not necessarily the discomfort, it's the aliveness, because I would even surprise myself to see just how far my body could go when I really pushed it. And I was always in awe and wonder in that space, like, wow, I didn't even mentally give myself that credit, but look at what my body can do. And so where else in life can we apply that? And I love, Renee, how you were like, some people might graciously push us into that next space inside of that proximity of expansion. But the ones that really love us are the ones that push us out of the nest and remind us that we're capable to fly. It just requires that test. And as I sit inside of comfort, I too do some extreme things in life that many people shake their heads at me and wonder why in the world I make those decisions. But the piece that comes to mind is jumping out of an airplane when you're not the one who packed your pack.
Right.
That part, right? And so as we talk about, Seafood mentioned being in control of the day, but yet also going outside of that comfort zone. It's those things in life that have literally given me aliveness, where if I were to have settled in comfort and simply stayed in that repeating cycle of, oh, it's nice here, it's warm here, it's safe here, it's familiar here, all of the curiosity, all of the expansion, and all of the proof of the greatness inside of me, I would have never got to see. So I am so grateful for this topic.
Mm. And also just another perspective on the training, because we're all touching on it, is it's not just physical. Training and working out is a mental game as much as it is physical. For me, the years of staying consistent and making sure that, 4 to 5 days a week, I'm going to go there whether I feel like it or not, is not just for the physical, it's for the mental as well. To understand that you are disciplined and consistency, because discipline and consistency to me is the superpower. The ability to do it day in, day out. I mentioned this earlier, week in, week out, month in, month out, year in, year out. That is the superpower, consistency. So the physical activity is not just about being physical, it's about the mental. And for me, I always used sports. I played football. I played at a high level. I was a professional football player. And it was the attitude that I had that never died, that warrior attitude, is the reason why I still work out at a specific level to this day, because I think it's very important to have the yin and yang. I'm a very soft-spoken, loving person, but there's still a killer in me that I utilize every time I go out. Every time I work out. And having those creates a balance, so that when you walk in the room, people acknowledge you, not because you're trying, but because you have this yin and yang, this powerfulness about you that you continue to hone when you work out. So workout is just not as physical, it's also mental. And also I want to say stretching, very important, especially as you get older, because when you work out, muscles tend to contract, and you have to work out and then stretch as well. That's because you start getting those back pains and, the sensations down the back of your leg and all that kind of stuff. So stretching is very important. So just want to add that.
Well, no, thank you. I need that reminder, because as you were saying that, I was just like, oh my God, my calf, my thigh, all the things are hurting because I put in the workout, but miss the stretching. I'm like, oh, if I have time, I'll do it. Yeah. And it's that piece of not being comfortable, is not waiting for something to happen to do it, but investing that time. Because even our topic of just being comfortable, sometimes we wait until the right moment. We wait until the perfect moment. And that's what I did for most of my career. You have these gems, you have a message to say, and you keep waiting for the perfect moment, and then the meeting is over. You've missed it. And then you say next time.
Right.
And now you're getting into this comfortable pattern of waiting for the perfect moment. And now we all know that there is no perfect moment. The moment is now.
Well, boom, there it is. Yeah, Renee. Mic drop.
I think when we consider working out, it's also spiritual for me.
Mm.
If And one of the things about me being physically fit is that I can do things that other people have a hard time doing. And the reason I am capable of doing these things is not because I'm a super person. I'm nobody special, but I do the special work. And comfort for me is learning something new.
Mm.
That's my comfort zone, if you will. So I love to draw. And yes, I'm one of those kids that I never got to draw on the wall when I was a kid, but as an adult, I do. So I do murals, right? Just because I enjoy it. And so I'm always looking at, if somebody does a mural, what is their technique? How are they doing it? Because maybe they can teach me something. And I am looking at the beauty that they're creating, but I'm also looking at how they create it. Because if I haven't done that, I'm like, oh, something new to try. And therefore, with everything I do, I'm always looking at people who are doing something that I want to accomplish.
Mm.
I'm not looking at them because I want to be them. It's because I'm looking to achieve something that I haven't achieved before. To me, that's my comfort zone. Being uncomfortable is my comfort zone. So for me, the expensive part is not taking the action necessary. So every day I take action on those things that are not necessarily comfortable.
Mm.
But yet I've learned along my journey to get uncomfortable is my comfort. It's also part of not being afraid, because failure is my biggest teacher. So I will fail over and over and over again until I somehow get good at it.
So good, Sifu. I love that so big, because we are taught as children that safety is the focus, right? Be safe, stay in the safe zone, stay in the familiarity space, stay where you're certain that you can guarantee and show proof that where you're at is going to keep you going, keeping you alive. And that's the survival mindset. And we are not meant to simply survive in this human experience. We are meant to go to levels that we even surprise ourselves. And so I don't think that comfort is expensive because it keeps us safe. I think it's expensive because it quietly replaces that wonder with certainty, because that's what the world taught us was so essential. And as I have gone through amazing 51 years of expansion and 8 beautiful children, 11 beautiful grandchildren, watching the awe in those children, the naivety, the curiosity, the discovery, the willing to fall, the willing to test things out, the willingness to color outside the lines. It's that space that even in my own timely wisdom that I choose to be in every day, where you talk about being uncomfortable is your comfort zone. That curiosity and wonder space is really truly what drives me through the next moment, seeking for more, because it's not about knowing the answer. And I believe, Sifu, you actually mentioned this in another conversation we had just recently. We don't learn anything when we speak. We learn when we listen. And for me, those cues and clues that life puts in front of me along my path is me listening to what's next, what's waiting for me, what's waiting to be revealed as more of my greatness in my expansion through this amazing journey.
Mm.
Wow.
That's another mic drop. Nice. Beautifully said, Amy. Beautifully said.
Thank you. Thank you.
If we keep dropping the mic, nobody's going to hear us. I'm sorry.
I know. So
Oh my gosh. Ooh. I gotta let that sit in. I mean, because it was so well said, Amy, just so well said. And a part of that is just really being present for all of those experiences and not waiting for what's next, but leaning into what's right in front of you. And I will honestly say that was something that I did as well. I didn't take the time to smell the flowers. It's like, oh, I got to grind. I got to do this. I got to do this. And then when you're in that space, you miss the gems. You're listening, but not really listening. You're looking, but you're not really leaning in. And so we know that when you do something partially, you're not giving your all to it. And you're doing a little bit of everything, but a whole lot of nothing. And so that sometimes is comfort, thinking about the busyness. So is it the busyness of doing things, or is it the presence of leaning into that curiosity? Because on the other side of our comfort is the curiosity, the possibilities, all of those things that we might miss if we want to move too quickly. And your words were just so powerful, because I want to lean into that now, is just really feeling, owning, and just seeing people, seeing the energy and being able to experience that. So thank you for that gift.
And I take from it also, Amy, that you lean into and pay attention to your children and grandchildren, and you learn from them. You know, it's not enough that you're teaching them how to live, but you're watching and growing and learning from their wonderment and how they're experiencing life, which is something I never thought about. You know, you grow up as kids are seen, not heard. You know you know what I mean? But in fact, that's the complete opposite of that. No, they're seen and heard, and you learn from them as well. Take the time to listen, watch, feel, and grow. So that's what I extrapolated from that, which is very interesting, something that I never thought about, that you can learn from your watching kids, you know? So thank you for that.
I am so loving this conversation because I get the chance to work with kids, and they're brilliant, brilliant. And so I am looking at them as my leaders for tomorrow. And so for me to help shape their minds, their bodies, their will, their drive, my God, it's incredible. And then I also get to work with people in their mid-age and to help them do the same, and then remind them that they're kids as well. And the oldest people I've worked with were a bunch of people over 100. The oldest was 102. And their curiosity was so beautiful to see. And they would come over to me and ask me questions. And I said, that's why you guys are here. And it was the youngsters, the 68s, the 74s, that they left and they didn't ask any questions. I'm like, oh, I don't know if they're going to make it this long. But when we think about learning from everyone, if you're an open learner, everyone can teach you something of value. So I will learn from a 2-year-old, 3-year-old, a 12-year-old, a 84-year-old. It doesn't matter, because we all have different perspectives. And if we're closed to perspectives, we're closed, period. So be open with your learning, no matter who's in front of you. Take the time to be with them. Like Renee said, be present. Because if you're not, what are you doing? What are you doing? Let me share something special with you guys. Take a look.
We are here in Tampa, Florida for the NYC Mastermind Experience. It was an absolutely epic weekend.
This was our 5th one, the 6th one.
Coming up in Hot Atlanta, that's right, Atlanta, Georgia, and our host, the great T.O. Clay.
Hey, you don't want to miss it. Come September, the new Hollywood of the South, ATL, baby. Make sure from NY to Tampa to Atlanta, Georgia. Can't wait to see you there. Peace.
Light up the city, every rise tonight. Every speaker bringing down in that fire, that light. No fronting, no fear, just truth on the mic. It's the NYC life, we unite, light up.
And you know why I threw the guy with the banana in there? Just to get people to think about it.
It's my favorite. I laugh every time I see it.
It is so funny, and he's such a character. I love it. But if you did not get your tickets to join us in Atlanta, your time, if you want to live in the moment is to go to the website. It's really easy, nycmastermindexperience.com, and get your ticket. Now, right now, they're like dirt cheap. Literally $197 for general admission. For VIP is $597. Now, when was the last time you went to a VIP? I paid more. I paid $1,500 for an 8-hour event. I got VIP. You know what I got out of it? A seat. Wow. And it was a front seat, but I had to fight for it because there were people running to get to the seat. My fiance, sometimes she calls me one speed, because it doesn't matter if it's snowing, winds are blowing, things are happening. I still go at the same speed because I know that when I get there, things will be just right. So I don't have to rush. And so I'm sitting at this event, and I'm not on the stage. I'm just in the front row. And I got to meet some of the speakers and so forth. But it was a great day. I walked away with an experience, not something that can carry me over. And our events are way different, because for the VIP, you get dinner Friday night. You get dinner Saturday night. You get a lunch on Saturday, and you get the experiences. Only $597? Oh my goodness. That is beyond crazy. I wish I could go to more events, and that would give me that much value just in the food alone. And you know, when we go places, the food is always incredible. Something we can talk about. But the conversations that happen when we break bread with other like-minded individuals, people who can help elevate you, the connections, the masterminds we create. Get your tickets. I can't say anything.
To seafood, I can't say enough about. I love good food, but at those events, I look forward to who I'm going to sit next to. And I got a chance to talk to Lancelot at one of those, and I'm like, best dinner ever. And the food was okay, but it was the conversation that was so powerful. And, you know, when you have the opportunity, proximity, and you get a chance to lean in and to experience people on a different level. And I will tell you, that is completely out of my comfort zone. My comfort zone is, okay, you go to a conference and then you go back to your room and you retreat. But the New York City experience encourages you to step out of your comfort zone. In fact, I don't think you even allowed that. It was every break, talk to somebody, find somebody, and it was that continuous push, the gentle nudge. And now that's the expectation that I have is when I'm going is not to, retreat. It's to lean in and to connect. Let me see who I can meet. Let me see what I can find out. So that curiosity is, oh, I'm so excited about who's going to be in the room and who am I going to sit next to at dinner.
And I think the adjective "lean in" is beautiful, because that should be the expectation, but that should be also the thing that you are looking to do as a person that may be coming for the first time. Understand what your role is in this, and understand in order to get the best and the most out of it, you need to lean in to the conversations. You need to lean in to meeting people. Every break, you should be out there leaning into meeting somebody else, because everybody's there has interesting things about them that you need to grow from. And that's one of the beautiful things as event we've had. We've learned to lean in even more. And then the Tampa was just this incredible explosion of just people who adapted and adjusted to the environment, and it was this incredible arena of just love and interest and conversation. And I just can't wait to see what Atlanta is like as we continue to grow, because each one gets better and better and better. So I can only imagine what the Atlanta experience will be like, with everybody understanding that we're leaning in to meeting new people, leaning into conversation, leaning into connecting in the real way. So I'm excited. So I hope to see you there, Amy.
I'm planning on it. It's on my calendar already. So yes, thank you for the invitation. I will lean in.
Yeah.
But here is the other part of why we continue to do these events, and why so many people, like Coach Teo, has been to every one of our events, and now he's hosting it in Atlanta. And the reason is because the relationships continue to grow. If you go to a place and you go one time, great experience.
Sure.
We hope.
Mhm.
But if you go in and all of a sudden, like, hey, how you doing? Hey, how's it? All of a sudden, you get closer and closer and closer and closer to the inner circle.
Mm.
If you come once or twice, hugs are given. And if you don't go to the meeting after the meeting, because we have tons of those, we have a meeting after the meeting after the meeting, and sometimes we have a meeting before the meetings. And so we have a lot of those. And that's where the layers are peeled. You get to know the person. You get to get more interested in who they are. And they become more interested in who you are. It's not about what do you do for a living? Who cares? How are you living life? How are you so amazing? That's the reality. How do you do what you do? Not what do you do?
Oof.
Because for me, like I said to you before, when I'm watching people who are gifted, it's not about the fact that they're gifted, it's how are they gifted? So for me, it's peeling the layers, getting to the root of that onion. Right? And there's so many onions to peel, people.
Ah.
You may have teary eyes, but keep going.
That is so good, Sifu. I love the power of proximity and opening up those rooms, and the consistency piece. Like, there's been so many gold nuggets that have been dropped today. And in that piece of meeting new people, those individuals end up being mirrors to us for things that we learn about ourselves through the triggers, through the conversations, through the exploration. And so that invitation that you spoke of, Renee, of are we going to simply watch, sit back and watch what's happening? And then, okay, I got my fill today, I'm going to go retreat. Or are we going to lean in and experience it and test it for ourselves and surprise ourselves? Because I know that every season of my life that actually expanded me began with a question, not an answer. And that curiosity is where it takes us outside of our comfort zone, outside of our familiar of, oh, we already know where we're going, what we're doing, who we're going to be around. And so I can relax, I can bring myself down. But what if you turned that into a question of how can I learn more about who I am in my greatness, bringing more of my leadership to the table? Because when we don't show up in our greatness, someone in the room that's seeking for that answer, that's seeking for that inspiration, that mentorship is robbed. Because you settled for being comfortable, because you settled for sitting back. And your greatness is needed in this world in order for all of us to be able to magnetize to one another in unity of this powerful, powerful place that is all about learning more, whatever that looks like for you.
Mm.
Oof. Amy, oh my gosh. Keep coming with it. Our greatness is needed. And thinking about the power we have in those rooms. I was writing down when you said start with the question. And I love that so much because when you start with the question, it causes your mind to start thinking and start processing. And I'd like to add on to that is also start with the question and start with a prompt. When we start with that prompt, it sets the stage, but it doesn't complete the page. And so now it opens up our mind for curiosity, openness, intention. And so how I'm going to show up in Atlanta in September is, yes, with the question, the prompt, but also what is my intention? What do I want to get from the experience? But what do I want to give?
Yeah.
What do I want my legacy to be as a part of that experience? Because I think it's so important for us to give and receive. You know, you're going to be full. I mean, hopefully you don't eat too much because I'm expecting to be full with so much more than I can absolutely digest, but I'm grateful for that and I'm excited about that.
Yeah, love it, love it. I got to tell you, we're doing an event August 21st. And if you think about the possibilities of being in a space, and for this one, you can actually be comfortable at home. And it's going to be everybody on this that is on the panel today is going to be at the summit.
Oh yeah, I
And
see. Oh, cool.
You're next to Amy, right? Look at that.
Yeah, I just realized that. I was like, all right.
And everyone here is going to be literally bringing so much value. Would you believe for 7 straight hours? And if you get the VIP, an extra 90 minutes to help you in your business, in your life, and whatever is going on in your world, if you will, right? Because think about this. We all live in our own world, but we share a world together, right? And the beauty is go to Unified Leadership and join us. I'll put the link up there. It's going across the screen. I'll also share it in the comments if anybody wants to click on it. Do yourself a favor. For this one, you can be comfortable at home. But then we need you to get a little uncomfortable, because traveling is not always the most comfortable thing to come to Atlanta. You may have to catch a plane, a train, a Uber, all these different things. But when you get to be in the space with incredible people who may or may not change the trajectory of your future, it's important.
Mm.
You will never know that if you stay home in September. We encourage you to stay home August 21st. And if you have to go in and out, that's okay, because guess what? You can get the VIP and get the recordings, and those will be there. So join us.
I'm
What else?
excited. I'm excited to be standing right next to Amy on the. I just realized that just now.
Face to face, brother. Bring it home.
That's it. That's it. It's going to be powerful. Looking forward to it.
Absolutely. So the topic today, if you're joining us now, or will watch the replay, or will share this with somebody who needs to hear today's message, what price are you willing to pay to stay comfortable? Or what price are you truly willing to pay and happy to pay to get uncomfortable? Because the more uncomfortable we get, the more we grow.
Mm.
Think about a seed. We put it in dirt. It is not comfortable, but it is building. So if you want to build an incredible life, get uncomfortable, so that at one point in your life, you will have the comforts of your hard work, of your diligence, of your progress. Every day should be an action for your tomorrow.
Mm. Mm. Mm.
I love it. And I think today I'm learning, although I knew it already, that the people that live the longest, the people that are 101 years old, the people that you spoke about earlier, are those that continue to make themselves uncomfortable. They continue to have wonderment. They never settle, because you just said, through your hard work, you'll begin to be comfortable. But I think the successful people are the ones that never get comfortable.
Mm.
Once the comfort starts to set in, or they master one thing, then they start something else, because that's what keeps them alive. I know for myself, I call it reinvention. And that's about reinvention, is about not staying comfortable. It's always moving. The top of one pinnacle is the bottom of another. And then you work your way up to the top of that, and it's the bottom of the next. But the opportunity to continue to grow is about never being comfortable.
Mm.
And we spoke about that earlier when we have our morning routines. Those morning routines, after a while, should change. They should grow, because as you get comfortable doing the same thing over and over again, which is a good thing because that's consistency. But at the same time, understand that comfortability is not where you grow. So you have to add to your morning routine so that you continue to grow. And I think that's very important for those that are listening, to always understand that you're always growing, you're always learning, never get satisfied. Because life is about growing. Life is about giving. Life is about just being the best person that you could be, because greatness is in us. We were all made in God's image, and I'm not trying to push religion on anybody. I'm just saying that we were made in his image. We were all given greatness, but it's about aligning with all the incredible things that we were given. And that takes work. And that takes you out your comfort zone. But if you're willing to go out your comfort zone, baby, oh man, the sky's the limit. And then being around, because you mentioned this earlier, Amy, proximity is power.
Yes.
You get around a room full of people who think the same, there's a frequency involved there. There's like this energy that's magnetic. And I learned it for the first time with Emilio. And I sat back, we were all in an event. We had come from an event. Sifu remembers this because my shoes disintegrated. And we were sitting at a table, and it was about 15 or 20 of us there. And I sat back and I watched everybody else watching us as we're all engaged in this incredible conversation. And you could feel the vibrational energy of this room. And everybody that wasn't in the room was watching as if it was like a movie or something like that. And then when I sat back, then I understood what frequency meant. You could feel the electricity in the air, and it's not like we were doing anything but having an intense conversation. Do you remember what I'm talking about, Sifu?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it was amazing, and that was my first introduction to vibrational energy and frequency. And so I say all that to say, don't miss Atlanta, because those are the ingredients that you will experience.
So good. I think the evidence too in that space, that since I have been exposed to this amazing ecosystem and all of you stellar individuals in just the last few months, I have been in absolute awe and wonderment, because the pieces that I've held for so long for so many others now I don't have to hold alone because of that proximity. And leadership isn't so much about convincing people to leave their comfort zone as it is about creating safety in the discomfort, that they're willing to discover what's beyond that space. And each of you have opened that door, even for me as the leader, to experience for myself, to then hold that space for others that are waiting.
Love it, love it. Be a bonsai. Be a bonsai.
Yes.
Right?
Be a bonsai.
What was that?
I'm going to tell you. A bonsai tree, right? A bonsai tree, if it's not pruned, it's just a herb. It's not a herb, a bush, right?
Yeah, it was on.
But a bonsai is trimmed because it gets rid of what is not necessary. So to be a bonsai is, yes, you talked about growth, Lancelot. We all basically have. But in order to grow, we need to get rid of that which is holding us down and back.
Yes.
So be a bonsai. Trim the negativity out of your life. Get rid of that which is causing you to stay where you're at. Remove the negative people out of your life. Be nice, be courteous, and say, hey, you know what? I really appreciate you. But maybe I'm going to go over here instead. Right? And it's important to understand that it's not to be mean to another person. And it's not to use another person. It's just because you've grown. And so I believe also in relationships that you need to grow together. This is why people get divorced, because one is here and the other one's just, and all of a sudden it's like, bye. And this one's going away, right? But if we grow together, don't get me wrong, I might be doing this, they may be doing that, but still, we're still growing together and we can come and unite. I think that's the critical part of growth. So, Lancelot, you and I have grown together since the first day I met you. Since the first day I said, let's get together and break bread, and we did, right? And then from there, we started NYC Experience. And every chance that you and I get together, we continue to grow. There's this trust that we have in each other. We've driven to events. And you were a person that I saw across the room that I couldn't even get to. Yet, I can now call you my brother.
Amen.
And we continue to do things together. We just had an event in New York City. And you did say something to me. Why are we doing this? Do you recall that?
Uh-huh.
And I said, so we can grow, so we can get other people to understand what we're doing, to get them to come into our world. And so we're doing it again July 18th. And you go, again? I'm like, yes, because we're creating momentum, right? And the growth part is where people see what we're doing. And now all of a sudden they're like, hey, wait a minute, I want to be with those guys, right? So we're doing practically almost every month. We're going to do an event in New York City. And it's probably going to be at a rooftop somewhere. We love this particular
Yeah,
rooftop.
this one rooftop is hot.
Oh my God, it's amazing.
It's really
And
nice.
if you ladies ever get the chance to come to New York, we're going to take you there for sure. For sure. But yeah,
You know,
proximity is power for sure. There's no doubt.
You know, it's interesting. I hate to say it's taking me out of my comfort zone, but as an athlete and then as an artist, your whole life has been about protecting who you are. Because as an athlete, you don't let too many people get it, especially when you're successful. As an artist, you have to protect yourself. And so, you know, I'm in a situation now where I'm completely opening myself up, which is something very different for me. And I'm learning, and I've learned a lot from Sifu. Each time we put one of these things on, I learn a little more about connecting and understanding the power of connection and understanding that you have to get out your comfort zone. What I'm used to can't be what I do moving forward, because again, that's my comfort zone, and I can make and explain my way to understanding why I do it. But if I want to grow, I need to learn how to do this right here. So that's what Tampa represented for me, because I understood after the first 3 events we had that connecting is more than just having conversation. Connecting is doing the work afterwards to continue the connection. And so it's just interesting how I have come completely in the last year out of who I was into who I've become, based off of watching and wanting to grow and understanding what this is that we're doing takes connection. It takes consistency. It takes having events like this every month so people get to understand who we truly are. You know, so again, it's growing, and I grow being around Sifu.
If you recall our first meeting where we shared food, we both kind of said it almost at the same time, right? That our mission is to change the world, to impact the world in a positive way. We both kind of said it, right? And this is why when I said to you, do you want...
Hey, Angeline.
Good morning, Stacy, as well.
Good morning, Stacy. Good morning, Angeline. Hi.
Yeah.
That's one of our family right there. Yeah.
That's it.
Hey,
And
Gabby, hi,
Gabby
Gabby.
as well. Gabby, absolutely. Gabby's incredible.
Yes. Good morning.
And when we consider the people we surround ourselves with, will either help us grow or keep us down.
There you go. Two things that happen. That's right.
Now, sometimes, believe it or not, those are the people that love you.
Right.
They don't want to see you fail, so they want to keep you safe.
Mm.
And that's comfortable.
Yes.
That is
Or-
comfortable.
Or I'll say this: the people that love you the most, annoy you the most, when you grow, it makes them uncomfortable. So they don't want, because it shines a mirror in their face of how they're staying stagnant. So they don't want nobody shining the mirror. So they don't wind up supporting you, not because they don't like you or they're hating. It's just that's human nature. When you shine that mirror in front of somebody and they see that they're staying stagnant, then they want you to do the same thing.
Mm. Mm.
That's the power of that vibrational energy, you know, and knowing when you need to separate yourself. It, as Sifu mentioned earlier, doesn't mean that you no longer care. It means that you care enough to continue to grow. And sometimes we have to separate ourselves so that we can continue to grow. And then you may be able to reach back. But when you're in that growth process, you've got to be uncomfortable.
Right.
And you got to stay uncomfortable.
Yes.
Right. Search
Can
for
you
uncomfortable.
believe we've been talking about this for an hour? And time flies when we're talking about something that really lifts us up.
Yes.
Something that we all do. I think everybody in this panel right there today understands that comfort is expensive. And not taking action on your glory of who you are is truly expensive. So stop procrastinating, because guess what? I love what Jose says. If you wait to get your ticket, the prices are going to go up and you're going to pay procrastination tax. That's it. I love that line, because it is true. The prices are going to go up and they're going to go up too. So get your ticket today. Today. And if you don't do it today, I can't guarantee tomorrow. Nobody can.
No.
I know that tomorrow I'll be getting better.
That's right.
Because
That I
today,
do know. That we know. We'll be 1% better than we were the day before. That's right.
I don't even go for 1%. I go for any percent. It could be a tenth of a percent, a hundredth of a percent.
All right.
But man, that tiny little bit, right? It doesn't have to be 1%. Maybe sometimes it's 10%. Maybe sometimes it's a tenth of a percent.
I'll leave with this. My
Go.
closing statement will be this. It's the small things you do consistently every day that make massive internal shifts. It's not big things. It's the small incremental things, like Sifu said, that you do every single day that creates massive internal shifts. I'll leave with that.
I will say that my gratitude, my heart has grown by having you guys here with me today. So thank you.
Thank
I
you,
would
Steve.
absolutely mirror that one. As we have spoken today, I am so grateful, but in being grateful, also allowing my greatness, that I am full of greatness, both sides. And that space can only improve by being in rooms like this, being surrounded by each and every one of you, because we don't simply model courage as leaders. We model what we're willing to remain curious about. So keep being curious.
Yeah.
I love that. And I would leave with the greatness. I got in connection and to realign with my greatness today. And I am leaning into that power of reinvention. I am grateful for the gift that I have each day to create the best version of myself by choosing and deciding not to be comfortable, but choosing to be curious and be uncomfortable and get comfortable with that space.
Yeah. All right.
I'm looking forward to seeing Stacey Jones.
Stacey Jones, yes. We'll see you in Atlanta as well.
So get your ticket today, Stacey. I'm so excited that you're going to be with us. She's
Yes.
a power. You guys need to
forward to meeting
connect with
Stacey.
her. Right? What an incredible and beautiful human being she is. So I look forward to seeing you in Atlanta. I look forward to seeing all of you in Atlanta. But don't forget, August 21st, get your tickets, because guess what? It's going to be a powerful day as well.
Let's
All
go.
right, you guys.
See you
God
there,
bless.
Angeline. Have a great day, Angeline. Thank you. All right,
Take
ladies.
care.
Bye, Amy. All right, Renee. Take care.
Everyone who's in the room is all about giving. Everyone who show up here and who are in the room are just givers, and they just want everyone to become better and better entrepreneurs, better founders, better coaches, better givers. You are going to meet the best of the best in this room, and it's an intimate experience, right? Sometimes you go to events where there are hundreds or thousands of people, and here in the New York City Mastermind, it's an intimate experience. So you really get to know them. You get to know them as people and not as just a number that's out there. So I highly recommend New York City Mastermind to anyone.